Hello and welcome to the Sky Spirit channel. How are you today? Whether you're watching on the day I record this or a day in the future, then take the messages, because Spirit has a habit of giving you a tap on the shoulder or pushing you in the direction of a message that you're supposed to hear. And the same goes for your higher self. And some people call it the higher self and some people call it guardian angel. Depends whether you think it's external or internal. And the way that I look at it, it's all the same thing anyway. Because we're all connected and we're all made of the same stuff. So stick with me for the next half an hour or so. I'm going to have a quick astrological overview. We'll have a collective reading, and then I'm going to lay 12 cards down, invite you to choose a number between 1 and 12, or perhaps you want to listen to every single interpretation, and that's fine too. So however you want to receive that is grand with me. So looking towards the skies, we have got Mercury in Aries conjoining with Neptune in Aries, and that's quite an unusual setup, particularly if you are a Gemini or a Virgo, because that's the signs that are ruled by Mercury, or a Piscean, because that's the sign that's ruled by Neptune. And because those are in Aries, all that action's happening in Aries, and Aries is quite a feisty, spicy sort of sign. So it could well be that tempers are frayed today, particularly if you're one of those signs that I've mentioned. It's also on a wider scale, it indicates a day where you might not know what decision to make. Good morning, Mandy. You might not know what decision to make, whether you're right or wrong about something. And it's like, hi, Julesy Bob. It feels like you're not sure whether you're right or wrong, but you feel really strongly about one way or the other. And what I would suggest is that if you're not 100% sure of that conviction, then give it 24 hours before you commit to a decision. And that's always wise anyway, isn't it? If you can, but you can't always do that. But if you can, then just leave that decision for another day. Let's have a look at a collective reading. So we have got... Well, that's interesting. So first of all, we have the Lovers reversed. Now, this can be, the Lovers isn't just about love affairs, it's about choices. And when this is reversed, it can indicate that you're stuck between a rock and a hard place and you're not sure which way to go. It can also mean the breakdown of a relationship or infidelity. But because we have this card next to the Fool here, because we always read tarot in context, not just sort of reading off the actual meanings one by one, because then it wouldn't make any sense, more than likely. Morning, Kirsty. So I'm reading this in conjunction with my upright Fool. So it feels like there's a choice to be made about an adventure to be taken. So it's like, should you go one way or another? Either way, you are stepping out to go on this big adventure. You're stepping out with that fresh Fool energy, fresh Fool innocence. Now, was it yesterday or the day before we also got the Fool? So that's quite unusual that the Fool is popping up twice, because there's 78 cards in the tarot. So for that to come out on 2 days, it's like, it always feels like a tap on the shoulder when that happens. So with our Lovers being upside down, this feels like you're stuck, you're not sure which way to go. But it's like the Fool's driving you on to make a decision and to be brave and to step out into that new adventure. Morning, Casabear. And to enjoy it. So it's like, I think the Fool is sort of saying here, throw caution to the wind. And that is clarified by the next card, which is the Knight of Swords. Now, the Knight of Swords, if you can see the illustration here, he like properly gallops into the situation, all guns blazing. So it's like we've come from indecision with the Fool sort of encouraging you to be brave and to go for it. And then you've got the follow-up of the Knight who's coming in like, come on, let's go. So this is a real nice trio of cards, because it takes you from that indecision and recognizing that you're not sure which way to go to actually galloping into the future. And the Knight of Swords is a really astute guy as well, and he's got his feet on the ground a little bit, but he's also very he's mercurial of mind, which means that he's intellectual and he's made the right decision based on like considering the facts, and then he's gone for it. So this is the advice for you, is to, yeah, consider your facts, but be brave, because when you hang around, procrastinate, sure enough, sometimes you find that this wonderful opportunity, which would be the Lover's upright, which is always the right energy of the card, could just disappear because you haven't made your move. So take that on board, if you will, today. And I'm going to move on to laying the 12 cards down. So how that I've always done this is to say that you choose a number between 1 and 12. But recently I've realized that that's quite simplistic, and sometimes it works in a different way. So you can, if you like, choose a number between 1 and 12, or you could choose a couple of numbers, or you can just see what resonates with you. Because I think I said this yesterday, a couple of people contacted me to say, oh, you know, every morning I choose one number and then another number really rings true. And it's like, well, should you really discount a reading just based on a particular number you've chosen? Or were you sent here to get that message anyway? You can make your mind up about that. So I'm going to lay 12 cards down, and you can interpret them as you wish, whether you're putting down a number and Kirsty's choosing number 4, or whether you're just going to take the one that you feel resonates with you most. Or we could even look on it as a sort of another collective, because what I've realized is that most days I'm laying these cards down and they seem all connected, even though I'm saying that they're separate things. There's very often like similar cards, one after the other or next to each other, that mean similar things. So I'm starting to think that it's almost like a collective reading as well. And the tarot sort of develops like that. I'm not saying that it has it's a sentient being that has its own identity and intelligence, because that's not how I think that it works. But it certainly seems to, however it works, it seems to sort of follow patterns like that and to have a sense of humor. So morning, KLG. Let's get those cards down. So number between 1 and 12, or if you like, just take what resonates with you, or take something from every single card, because every single card of the tarot has a meaning for you at some point in life, or at some point it's all relevant. Just, you know, sometimes it's more relevant than other times. Right. Okay, number 1, we have got the 8 of Pentacles reversed. Now, this is a card that talks about, it's like, this is a portal card because there's a door on it, okay? So it's like when you use good skills, because this is what he's doing. He's carving all these pentacles. So he's using the skills that he's used. He's using his ambition to go through the portal. So it's like stepping into new opportunities. However, when this is reversed, it's indicating that the skill, you're not using your skills properly in order to progress to the next stage. It's like you have skills that aren't being used, which would take you to the next stage. It's the kind of card that you would get if you were in a job where you felt like you weren't fulfilling your ambitions, and you already had those skills, and so it feels like they're being wasted and they're holding you back from traveling through this new door and into more opportunity. So this is a card that's message for you is to look at your situation and the skills that you have. Now, I mentioned work, but this isn't necessarily work, because it can apply to even relationships. If you've put in a lot of time and effort and your skills are in understanding somebody, and then you just let things slide and just like you don't tell them how you feel or what you want out the relationship, and you've learned how it works, but you still let it sort of just pass you by, then you're not going to go through that portal which takes you to progression, takes you to the next stage, if you like. So whatever situation you're in where you're putting aside your learning about that situation, then this card invites you to address that and return that state to its proper upright state, which is you using your skills and utilizing what you have learned in order to move forward in life. Okay, we'll go straight to number 2, I think. So number 2 is the card of giving and receiving, sharing and giving. It's also about financial balance. So the 6 of Pentacles is about generosity. It's about charity. It's about you could be having a day to day where somebody might approach you in need, and it could be that they're after a lend, or it could be that they are just after some emotional advice. So it's that energy exchange rather than a monetary exchange. So this is a card that says if somebody approaches you, they're after your help, and be that person for them, be that shoulder to cry on. However, also if you are in need of somebody to talk to or some assistance, this is a card that tells you that that assistance is around you today. So the energy that you need in order to receive what you want is coming into your sphere of influence. So it's a great card to get if you are sort of, if you're struggling a bit financially and you're thinking, where's this going to come from? How am I going to pay this? Then this is the card that would pop up if it's like you're going to find that money, or it's going to come to you and help you to make that payment that you're worried about. So it's a really positive card, and it's all about, if you have a look at the image on here, this nice benefactor man is giving wealth to these two people who are sort of, he's also got scales in his hand, so he's weighing up what he's going to give them, and he's distributing things fairly. So it's also a card that talks about things being shared out properly. So it would be if you were waiting for example, a share of something, inheritance or something like that. That's a really blatant example. But this would be a card, again, that would indicate that the fair share was coming. So it's a lovely card financially, and it's a bit of a comforting card financially if things are being a bit tough. Number three, we have the Justice card, but it is reversed. So the Justice card reversed can mean that if you're involved in something legal, it can be a bit of a tricky sign, because it can mean the scales aren't balanced properly. But it can also mean that you're being judged unfairly, and it can mean that there's false accusations, or somebody talking behind your back, sticking the oar in, perhaps stabbing you in the back a little bit, speaking ill of you, creating a sense of injustice in that you're being judged unfairly by somebody based on what a third party has said. So the real message of this card is to look at the cause and effect of things. So if something isn't working out how you expect it to be working out, then is it because there's somebody in the background that's causing problems? Is it because there's somebody in the background that is bad mouthing you and causing somebody else to judge you unfairly? Because it's this real sense, when this card is upside down, it's a sense of injustice. And we all blooming hate injustice, don't we? It makes my blood boil. But it's like, remember, the true energy of this card is really powerful. It's a major arcana card. It's justice. So it feels like this is a temporary hitch. And if you can identify this problem, if you can weed out the issue and sort of address that situation, or you might find that if somebody has been told wrongly about you, this card is reminding you to tell them it as it is. Make sure you put them right in order to return the true energy of the Justice card, in order to be judged fairly, and that will help you to progress. So it's going to help you move past this bit of an injustice. I hate that word. I hate it when it's like that. It's like, it's a real bugbear of mine. So if you've got this card today, number 3, and I think I saw Kaza say you said you'd got this, then just try to put right what is wrong. Find out where that misinformation is coming from. Okay, I'm going to go to number 4. I'm being very, very linear today. Number 4, Nightmare card reversed. So you've got the 9 of Swords, but it's reversed, thankfully. So when you've chosen the 9 of Swords, the 9 of Swords is called the Nightmare card because it's about stress, and it's about those overthinking situations that keep you up at night, that make you sort of, when you go over all the possible solutions and you're lying there like, what can this be? What can that be? How can I do this? It can also mean that you've been in pain. It can also mean that you can't sleep because of something physical keeping you awake. So you got it if you've got some sort of an illness that's keeping you awake, things like that. So it can be stress mentally, can be stress physically. But with this being reversed, the great news is that it's coming to a close. Okay, it's turned on its head. It's a 9. It's later in the cycle. It means that whatever this situation is, it's easing off, and it's going to leave your influence really, really quickly, so that you can put it behind you and you'll be able to metaphorically get a good night's sleep again, whether that's literal or whether it's just the sort of being able to relax a little bit and stop worrying about something, or stop having something that's constantly on your mind all the time. So the nightmare is about to end. Number 4. Number 5. Number 5, you've got the Knight of Wands reversed. So the knights, when they're reversed, can mean a little bit of, because when they're up that way, it's like it's motion, it's forward motion, it's coming in really fast. When it's up this way, it's sort of a stagnation and a lack of motion. Now, a Knight of Wands can indicate a breakup, can indicate the breakdown of a relationship. So this is a card that comes up often when people are going through a sort of a breakup that takes a while. So it's sort of it's not one of those sudden arguments and you're gone. It's like when things just are slowly sort of disintegrating around you. But it does mean that it's not too late to save this particular relationship. So it's not too late to turn that energy around and to re-energize the situation, or to re-instigate communications. It's like Wands is energy, it's fire, it's fire signs. So your Sagittarius, your Aries, your Sagittarius, Aries, Leo. I nearly forgot the third one there. And so it can be to do with somebody like that. But if it's not, it's often to do with just the energetical feeling of something. You know, when you really are passionate about something, you are the knight this way up. When you really don't care anymore and it feels a bit stale, then it's this way up. And it's like, you're feeling like sometimes you just don't care anymore, and it's like, right, whatever. But it's not too late for this situation. It's not too late to turn it around. So if you've got this card today, then I think, I think sometimes you have to just sit back and think about what you really, really want. Do I sound like a Spice Girl there? And just try to restate your aims to yourself. Make sure that the direction that you're going in, or if you're letting things fall apart, if you're letting things sort of drift away, drift apart, then is that what you really want? Number 6, seeing as I'm going linear right the way along the bottom here. Number 6, you've got the 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands is about competition for the same thing. Can be about, in its positive aspect, it can be sort of recognizing that you're surrounded by a good team of people who are driving you on because they're almost competitive with you. So they're like, when it's like if you're playing a game of sport, you sort of raise your game to match somebody else's way that they play. And this is that kind of energy. So it's like, are you surrounded by people who are who are like functioning at a high octane rate and they're getting things done? And it's like it's pulling your game up. Or the negative side of this card is along the same ilk, but there are nuances with these interpretations. So negatively, there could be too much competition. You could be all going for the same thing. This could be work, could be love, could be whatever it is. Could be a house that you're all trying to get. But it's like, see, they're all sort of fighting with their wands, and it's a bit of a chaotic mess. And it's all because they're vying for the same thing. So you've got challenges here. If you're negative, if this is a negative card for you, if it's a negative situation, these challenges are like taking up a lot of your time, and it's stopping you from getting where you really want to go because there's other people aiming for that. If we're looking at a positive situation, it's still the same chaotic sort of all going for the same thing, but it's lifting you up. So let me know which one of those interpretations applies to you, because it's an interesting card, because we can all be either built up by challenges or brought down by them. And I think sometimes it's to do with your state of mind, isn't it? Because sometimes we thrive on pressure and we sort of enjoy a challenge because we know that we can actually overcome it, and it sort of gives you that yay feeling. But sometimes you just can't be bothered with fighting for the same thing over and over again. So if that's you, number 6, do let me know. I'm going to go straight down the other side here. Number 12, you've got the 2 of Wands reversed. So this indicates that you're feeling a bit stuck, lack of vision, feels that something you were passionate about, feels that you're not as passionate about it anymore. It can feel like you feel stuck in a situation. Might feel like you really want to escape. You really want to get out. You really want to shake things up, change things around, but you feel like you're being held back. It feels like the dream is not what you want it to be. You can feel like you have a lack of vision here, and you're not sure which way to go forward in order to return that joie de vivre, in order to feel like you jump out of bed in the morning, looking forward to the day again and looking for those new opportunities. It's a card that comes up when you're like, feeling nonplussed with life and feeling like, right, okay, yeah, well, this isn't bad, but, am I just going to make do with average? Am I just going to stay here? Or am I going to return to the person who is holding the world in their hands, who is looking out over the horizon, looking for new opportunities and waiting to start things, eager, youthful in your attitude about what the world holds? It's like optimism. It's about expecting the best, expecting every day to be an adventure, expecting good things to happen. And when it turns like this, it's like that feeling you get when you think, yeah, well, the best of my life is behind me now, and there's going to be nothing else happened, and I'm just going to sit here and wait for the inevitable. That's a bit dramatic, but you get what I mean. But remember, the reversal of the card is just a blockage on the full energy. So this card reminds you that you still have the world in your hand. The world is still your oyster. There are still opportunities. It just feels like the ones that you've been looking at and the path that you've been treading perhaps isn't for you, or perhaps needs tweaked, or perhaps it just doesn't inspire you anymore. And there's nothing wrong with that, because this is a 2. It's the very beginning of something. And it's like, if you change your tact at the beginning, change your path at the beginning of something, or even if you are quite a way down something, you can always rewind and start again at a new path, to start at the beginning of something else. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. Number 11, you've got the 2 of Cups reversed. This card can indicate, again, look at that, with the which card did we have before? Oh yeah, we've got the Knight of Wands reversed as well here. These are cards that can be about breakups in relationships. These are cards that can be about the end of partnerships. This is a card, with it being cups, it's about emotions. And it's really easy to go, yeah, it's a relationship because it's about emotions. But sometimes it's not as simple as that, because we have a relationship with everything around us, ourselves, our friends, our dogs, our cats, our horses, our relatives, our family. Our relatives are family, aren't they? But you get what I mean. Just everything around us, we have an emotional attachment to. So cups are not necessarily like intimate relationships, although they very often are. So this card is one that comes up when you're having a breakup. It's also one that comes up when there's disharmony and sort of friction in a union. And it's something that says as well, it's a card that frees you, because there's also this sort of entity, this angel entity with wings hovering above this couple. And what it's telling you is that you can put down what isn't serving you and you can choose a new direction. Again, a bit like the 2 of Wands. I told you all these cards are starting to connect every morning. So if you're going through this breakup, or if you're going through this change of heart, going through a leaving of the old behind and a starting of the new, it's like, it's do I have a troll here, Kazabe? How exciting. It would be my first one. I've just seen that out of the corner of my eye. It must mean I've made it if I've got a troll. Right, so if you're going through this, I'm too excited now, I can't think about the card, then it's like, look on it as being set free as much as anything, because when this card comes up, it's talking about that deep need to separate in some way, to separate from somebody or something, or to separate from the old to the new, to separate from an old way of thinking. If you've worried about something until you're in a state of this, until you can't sleep, then it's time to really call time on that, draw a line and separate from it. So however that card resonates with you today, let me know, because that's an interesting one. Number 10, woohoo, you have the sun. We love the card the sun because it's like the Midas touch. It's like everything you touch today is going to turn to gold. You have the sun shining on you. This can indicate travel abroad. So it can be quite literal. It can talk about travel to a sunny country, but it's also about the sun shining quite not literally on you. It could be that when you feel youthful and full of vitality, and it's a really good card as well if you've got health issues, because it's like that healing sun is shining down into you and filling your body with its golden light and sort of getting all your cells working in the right way. And I'm a strong believer in that, because I think, if your subconscious controls so many things in your body without you even thinking about it, your breathing, your digestion, all those kind of things, then what can your subconscious do to every other cell in your body? So if you truly believe that you're going to be healthy, then you're going to be healthy. This is like the power of positive thinking. And I know that's a really tricky thing, because when I was diagnosed with cancer last year, I hate to keep bringing this up because I'm such a cancer ball, but it's been a massive part of my life for a while. There's so many people said, oh, just be positive. And I was like, well, what? Don't tell me to be positive if you can't tell me how to be positive. But I understand entirely what they were talking about, because positivity can have a massive effect on how your actual body works. So I'm digressing here, but this is what I wanted to say. Now I go out and I look at the sun and I let it all just like sink into my body. So this card today is you. This is you out in the sun and letting that sun infuse your body with positivity and healing. You've also got here this little guy on the horse, and he's naked, and this is like because he's got a sense of adventure. He's setting out on an adventure in the sun, and he's got childlike enjoyment about him as well. So it's like it's a card that's saying, be that child again, be your inner child, get on the horse, gallop into the horizon, and don't worry about what can happen. Because I think that we all we sort of spend too much time worrying about what if, and not thinking about, what if I don't do that? And it's always like, what if this happens? What if I fall off the horse? What if I get to the sun and I get burnt? What if you don't think like that? What if you just go for it? So lovely card. So that was number 10, wasn't it? Number 9, you've got the 3 of Wands. The 3 of Wands, it's a little bit like the 2 of Wands, which is that new horizons, new projects, looking over new opportunities. But because we're one number up from the 2, it's like this is indicating a project or something that's already started. So it's not at the planning stage. It's at the stage where you're progressing, you're expanding. And this is a card that would come up when you're hearing about new opportunities that are going to enable you to develop further. So the obvious one is at work and about promotions and that. But this can also be, for example, on a spiritual level, because you could be taking a new path, or you could be hearing new things that are sort of like lighting that fire in your brain, thinking, all right, okay, why don't I progress down that road and see where that takes me? So this is a card that says, be open to these possibilities, step forward, continue with your plans, because tap on the shoulder, you are going in the right direction, and there's a possibility for expanding what you're already working on. Now, the secondary meaning, if you like, of this card is this guy is looking out over, and you see that there is a definite sea there, and that's because it's associated with overseas travel as well. So it's a card that's saying if you've got any overseas travel in the offing, so if there is if you're planning a trip abroad, or if that's on the, I keep wanting to say on the cards, and that's such a cliche. If there's a trip abroad looking likely, then it's going to go well, and it seems like it's going to go without any hitches as well. So that's a really good card as well, number 9. Number 8, you've got the 7 of Pentacles upright, and I'm so pleased because the last few times I've seen this card, it's been upside down. So this is grand. This means that this guy's really proud of his harvest. He's put a lot of work in. He's dug the ground, he's sowed the seeds, he's stood back and let the rain fall, watched the sun come out, he's weeded it, and now he's like, okay, this has grown, I'm going to harvest this. So it's like, right, you've put a lot of work into something, whether it's a job, a person, a task, a situation, a home, a project, whatever it is, you've put the work in, and now let's sit back and enjoy that. And this, if you're watching this video on the day that I make it, then it's like we're right in front of the Easter holidays. So this would be telling you, Kaza, yeah, he does look like he's doing that, doesn't he? I won't say that out, but he does. So this is a card that's saying to you, all right, it's the Easter holiday coming up. You've put the work in, sit back and enjoy it. Sit back and reap the rewards of the work that you've put in. This is harvest time. This is not a time to be running around anymore and doing more work. It's a time for reaping what you've sowed. Hopefully those are positive seeds that you've sowed. Now, because this card is the right way up, it's likely that that is positive. But I'm just saying, when I'm saying reap what you've sowed, I'm thinking that can also have negative connotations, can't it? Because people get told that when they've put down something awful and then it comes back to bite them on the ass. So reap what you've sowed over the weekend, sit back, enjoy. He's put a lot of hard work in. He's having a wonderful time now, whatever he's doing with his harvest. So if that's you over the weekend, don't wee on your crops, okay? Number 7, last card this morning, number 7. You have got, now I always struggle to realize whether this is up the right way or not, because it looks the same both ways up. So this is the Wheel of Fortune, and this is reversed. So this card is talking about, it's about destiny, but it's also about luck. And this feels like luck and destiny's been taken out of your hands because this is reversed. It feels like it's there's no point going against the flow. Whatever you have set in motion, whatever the wheel of destiny is bringing to you, because it's turning, whatever luck has been playing out for you, now's the time when nothing else is going to change the outcome of that event. It's like you've just got to sit back and let it happen. If this is to do with a relationship, this would come out when you sort of like feel like a third party and you're just watching it all play out like a film in front of you. So you've had your big conversations and you've done this and you've done that, and now you sit back and you watch and you wait and you see what happens. So it's one of those cards where it's not a negative card, but it's not a card of action. It's not a card that encourages you to sort of push forward, make changes, have loads of energy, tell somebody how you feel, confront someone, you know. It's not one of those. It's one of those hang back, watch what happens before you make decisions. Don't be hasty. Don't be rushing into something. It's also a card that talks about karma. So you can get this card coming up if you are experiencing a karmic time in life, or if you if somebody has wronged you and you're sort of feeling frustrated about it and like you'd like to lash out on them. This is a card that would come up and remind you karma will get them, and what goes around, just like the Wheel of Fortune, comes around. So I will finish there. I don't think I have any questions. today. Account. So what's related with Sagittarius? I'm not sure what you mean by that in general. I'm just having a look up the chat here. I don't think I've got any questions, have I? Brilliant. Okay, right. It's been lovely to spend time with you all this morning. Please come back. Please come back. Am I tomorrow? Yes, I'm going to do it tomorrow. It's Good Friday, but I'm no Christian. So we're going to do it tomorrow. And I'll see you if you are around. It is Good Friday, so you might want a day off from turning up, but I shall be here anyway. Please subscribe to the channel. Be good. Have a fabulous day. Make great choices and stay weird.